Hey guys, Scott here. Today I want to talk about my boy Wesker, once one of my favorite killers in the entire game. It seems like the prevalence of him has kind of drifted off over time. It used to be that people actually started hating Wesker, not because of the design of Wesker, but because that's just all they ever encountered because Wesker was just the most fun killer in the entire game. I still think to this day he is one of the least hated killers to go against, especially with his recent nerfs to infection and the hinder rate from a full infection. I think Wesker is overall the one of the least hated killers in the entire game to actually go against. But over time, I have sort of felt that his efficacy has kind of gone down. So yesterday, I've been in the process of doing a Go Next experiment. I'm basically trying to do the most wholesome possible things I can possibly do and see how many people still just give up or disconnect or kill themselves on hook. So I tried to pick one of the least hated killers in the game, and I came up with Wesker. Again, ever since he got nerfed too, there's even less people that dislike him. He's no longer oversaturating, so there's less people that dislike that. So overall, I'd say Wesker is one of the least hated killers, so I picked Wesker for this. Additionally, I was picking builds that survivors would approve of, namely nothing, no builds. That's the only build that they would approve of and not disconnect from. So also, I was kind of rusty with Wesker. I really haven't mained him in over a year, so I'm not exactly a master Wesker player or anything like that. I got pretty good with him, but I didn't really master the whole hug teching thing. But for the most part, I was pretty good with him. But yeah, I really I'm not I'm not a master Wesker or anything like that. So all these things combined, though, it kind of made me realize that Wesker is not that great anymore. He's not bad. He's definitely not a bad killer. In my opinion, he's a very high B tier killer. But overall, the changes that the game have, the changes that have actually happened in the game, combined with people just simply getting better against going against Wesker, has kind of made him fall off a little bit. Again, he's still a good killer. Don't get me wrong, but he is definitely not as, I don't know. I used to think he was top 6 or 7, maybe when he first came out, but nowadays, I'm just not really feeling that anymore. And a lot of that is not really, it doesn't have to do with Wesker. Like I said, he did get nerfed, but he didn't get drastically nerfed or anything like that. I feel like it's more the game around him. It seems like the map design of the future is just more about non-standard DBD tiles. So things that Wesker is really good at are, standard DBD tiles like Shack, TL walls, jungle gyms, things with straight lines that he can go straight line, and, do his 2 dashes perfectly. Short, shitty round loops are okay for getting M1s if you mind game them properly and if you win the loop like that, but they don't really benefit killers like Wesker at all. So there's not much to do against a lot of these unless you are very prevalent in doing the hug tech shit, which even the masters of, I would say, fuck up more often than not. It is very, very hard to consistently benefit from doing the hug tech stuff. And, again, I've seen even master player like Aranikin in Henza Showcase was doing insane shit. But the majority of the time he did it, it didn't actually result in a hit. It just looked fucking cool, which is the main reason you do it for a showcase. I totally get that. But it's not an insanely reliable thing. So, not to mention, most people can't even breathe like me. Most people can't even mechanically do those things. So we have to say for even the above average Wesker players, a lot of these loops you just can't really do much anymore now that people have really had the time to learn how the killer works. And it is just a circumstance change of the game itself, not exactly Wesker. Now, obviously slowdown metas have changed as well. Wesker used to really compound more with the Call of Brine Eruption Overcharge meta because he had his own slowdown that stacked with other slowdowns. So while you were off, running to go take off your infection, everything else was regressing at an alarming rate. So their synergistic slowdown that we had is not really as strong anymore with Wesker as well. So like I said, it's more just a combination of the game sort of changing around Wesker rather than Wesker himself. It's another reason that Huntress has fallen off a lot. Huntress is still pretty decent, but she used to be one of the best killers in the game. But people have learned to play against her, and also the maps have just consistently gotten worse and worse for killers like that require a straight line of sight. And I don't know why they keep doing this, because they keep making killers that require a straight line of sight to use their power, but then make maps that don't really have that. They're all short, shitty round loops that you can't really use your power in, but you can easily M1 in, which kind of just makes everyone able to just M1 people, and that's just not, I don't know, it's not super exciting. But like I said, the game has changed around them, and overall, I feel like Wesker is not that strong anymore. He's still high B tier in my opinion. He's still a good killer for sure. He's in the top half without a doubt, but he really isn't as effective as he used to be. So I'm curious to hear if you guys thought agree with that, because like I said, I was playing Wesker all day yesterday, and again, I was playing in high MMR with no perks, so of course that's going to give me a rougher experience. But I'm talking about effective use of my power. I felt like half the maps I was just M1ing people most of the time, and it's just more of a feeling than any like raw data I have. So I'm curious to hear if you guys that are still playing Wesker have felt like he's dropped off a little bit. It could just be pure copium because I'm just not amazing or anything at him anymore. So that's entirely possible too. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Just a little quick video about my experiences with Wesker and more on the give up experiment in a couple of days when I finish it up. That's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.